School prepared you for tests. It didn't prepare you for people. It trained you to memorize answers but never to read power. It never explained why the loudest person gets promoted, why the confident liar is believed, why the quiet genius is ignored. It never explained the rules that actually run rooms. And the reason is simple. Systems don't teach power because power is what keeps systems alive. This isn't about becoming ruthless. It's about seeing the machinery behind human behavior. Because once you understand power, you start noticing something unsettling. Most of society isn't driven by truth. It's driven by perception. And perception is easier to control than reality. The first dark truth: power rarely looks like power. It hides behind politeness, policies, and professionalism. The most dangerous people don't look dangerous. They look respectable. They don't raise their voice. They lower yours. They don't threaten. They frame choices so every option benefits them. Real power doesn't push. It steers. And the scariest part? You often thank the person who limited you, because power is strongest when it feels like guidance, not control. Humans worship authority, not because they're foolish, because they're wired to survive hierarchy. For most of history, defying authority meant exile, and exile meant death. So the brain evolved to obey symbols quickly: uniforms, titles, luxury, certifications, followers, badges, stages, costumes of power. And the brain reacts to them before logic has time to speak. A confident voice can override your doubt. A title can silence your objection. And most obedience isn't forced. It's volunteered to feel safe. Money moves markets. Fear moves people. Fear of exclusion. Fear of irrelevance. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of being nobody. Entire industries survive by feeding insecurity. Advertising sells relief from invented inadequacy. Workplaces sell identity in exchange for exhaustion. Social media sells visibility in exchange for self-worth. Fear doesn't need chains. It builds cages inside the imagination. And once fear lives in the mind, control becomes automatic. People police themselves to avoid invisible punishment. That's efficient power. No guards required. Here's what classrooms never admit. Humans don't treat each other equally. We rank instantly, silently, constantly. Status shapes gravity. It pulls attention towards some people and away from others. The same sentence spoken by two different people lands with different weight. One is called insight. The other is ignored. Status decides who gets patience, who gets interrupted, who gets forgiven. Reality doesn't disappear. It bends. And once someone is labeled powerful, people subconsciously protect that label. Because hierarchy feels stable, and the brain prefers stability over fairness. You believe you choose freely, but most choices arrive pre-edited. You pick from menus someone else designed, career ladders someone else approved, lifestyles someone else normalized. Even rebellion has market categories. A cage with open doors is harder to escape than one with bars, because people defend what they believe they chose. They attach identity to the cage, and identity is harder to break than steel. Modern power doesn't force obedience. It designs preferences. Anger is loud. Power is quiet. The person who loses control loses leverage. Emotion is information. If someone can trigger you, they can map you. If they can map you, they can steer you. The most powerful people aren't emotionless. They're disciplined. They feel everything but display selectively. They let others speak until silence becomes pressure. Silence is uncomfortable. And whoever controls discomfort controls pace. School trained you to answer quickly. Power rewards the person who can wait. Most people think power is domination. It's not. It's endurance. The ability to stay steady while others panic. The ability to delay gratification while others chase relief. The ability to absorb tension without collapsing. Impulsive people are easy to predict. Predictable people are easy to guide. And guided people think they're deciding. That's the elegance of power. It hides inside patience. The darkest truth? You don't need prisons when people build identities around their limits. Most ceilings are self-installed. People shrink their voice before speaking, edit their opinions before sharing, dress their personality for approval, laugh on cue, agree for safety, perform belonging, not because they're weak, because the brain still runs ancient survival software, belong or die. Modern rejection isn't death, but the body reacts as if it is, and systems built on that reflex don't need force. They need fear of isolation. There's another layer school never mentions. Power accumulates where attention flows. Attention is modern oxygen. The person who captures attention shapes conversation. The person who shapes conversation defines reality. Narratives beat facts because humans live inside stories. Control the story, and facts rearrange themselves to fit. That's why reputation can outweigh evidence. Because perception is the battlefield most people never realize they're standing on. After all this, you might think power means controlling others. That's the lowest version. Crude, fragile, temporary. The rarest power is sovereignty over yourself, not needing applause, not panicking under judgment, not trading your voice for approval. A person who can stand alone is difficult to manipulate. A person who doesn't beg to belong can't be purchased. A person who understands fear without obeying it is hard to cage. Fear is the leash. Self-mastery cuts it. Once you see power, you can't unsee it. You notice it in job interviews, in friendships, in meetings, in headlines, in silence between words. You start hearing what people avoid saying. You start watching who controls tempo, who controls attention, who controls comfort. And the goal isn't domination, it's awareness. Because the most controlled people are the ones convinced they're free. And the moment you see the strings, you get a choice. Keep dancing unconsciously, or learn the rhythm and move on purpose. If this changed how you see the world, like the video, subscribe, and step outside the script most people never realize they're following.